Welcome. Today, we will be doing a walkthrough of the iSolved People Cloud as a client user. When logging in as a client user, the first thing you may notice is a pop-up window similar to what you're seeing here. From time to time, Aspen likes to notify our clients of important information. This information may be delivered in the form of a message or a document. We highly encourage you to review any information that is being generated in the pop-up window. Once logged in, you will be brought to the client landing page. This screen provides a lot of useful information regarding your account. First, at the top, if you operate under multiple controls or multiple entities, you will be able to toggle back and forth between the different companies without having to leave the system and log back in each and every time. Second, the My Account Reps is used to identify who will be supporting you and your employees on the Aspen HR team. And then third, the calendar. This will display your pay dates. Not only does it display the actual pay date itself, but also when payroll is due. The menu items to the left allow for easy navigation of the iSolved technology. Keep in mind the menu items that you're seeing today may vary from user to user based upon the security settings of each individual client user. Most users would have access to employee management and then the employee summary screen. This will give the user access to manage specific employees. On this screen, this does allow you to easily search for employees. You can sort and filter. You can reorder how your columns appear. You can add additional columns as needed. You can export to Excel. Or if you wish, you have the ability to group by columns. So for departments, we can right-click on Departments, come to Group by this column, and this will now group your report by department. You could then expand each department to see which employees are assigned to that specific department. If you wish to ungroup, right-click Departments and select Ungroup, and this will put departments back as a normal column. When you wish to manage the employee, simply select the employee. This will take you directly into the employee summary page. This would give you a nice overview of who that individual is for your organization. It displays information like the demographic information, personal information, employment, job, pay, tax information, and who that employee is assigned to as far as managers and supervisors are concerned, as well as the organizational structure of that individual employee. The great thing about this page is all of these fields are linked, meaning that if you wish to go in and modify any one of these fields, simply click on the field name, and that will take you directly into the screen where you can update that specific item. As an example, we can look at salary. First, you may notice that salary is truncated, and that is by design. To display the salary, click on the icon, and the salary will be displayed. When you release your mouse, that will then truncate the salary once again. If you wish to update the salary, simply click on the salary link, and that will take you directly into the employee salary screen. This will give you access to add or modify the employee's existing salary and/or rate of pay. At the top, it also gives you access to audit the history of all the increases or decreases that the employee has had throughout the years. Some other menu items that you may want to look at would be under Accruals, Leave Accruals. This gives you access to the employee's accrual balances based upon your company's time-off policies. Under Human Resources, under Company Assets, this gives you easy access to track things like laptops, cell phones, corporate cards, and office keys on a per-employee level. If you wish to see any documents that are being stored to an employee's profile, you can click on Employee Documents. Notice there are folders within this, where you can organize your documents based upon categories. Under Training and Development, there may be times you wish to track certifications or licenses. If those certifications or licenses have expiration dates, you can have the system set to email the employee, their manager, the client user, and HR. Really anybody that needs to be notified when that certification or license is about to expire. You may wish to track skill sets or even training history. Under Employee Admin Tools, you have a new set of menu items. Under Employee Administration, Pending Employees, this is where you would go to initiate the onboarding, or to complete the onboarding that's assigned to you. You notice here that you could see some employees that are listed are waiting on the employee. That means that system is waiting for the employee to finish the onboarding. Assigned to me means that it's assigned to you, so there's a task that needs to be completed to finish the onboarding. And traditionally, as an example, this means that the employer verification component of the I-9 needs to be completed by you, and this gives you easy access to complete that. Under Employee Analytics, this will give you a nice report of all the employees' anniversaries. And you can see this by all anniversaries, or you can select it by anniversaries in the next 7 days, or anniversaries by month. Same thing for birthdays. This can give you access to all your employees' birthdays in the next 7 days, or birthdays by month. If you wanted to see which documents were stored on each employee's profile, you can come to the Documents on File section. This will allow you to search for those specific documents, and this will display all the employees that have that specific document uploaded to their profile. Under Employee Self-Service, this will give you access to a similar view as what the employees will see if they are logging into the classic view, not the adaptive view, but the classic view. Under Timecard, this would give you access to the employee's timecard. So if you're using the system to clock in and out, this will allow you to see those employees' hours. It also allows you to see a calendar of all the employees who are scheduled to be off, as well as your company holidays. If you needed to print an employee's pay stub, you can always come under Employee Pay History. And this will give you access to the employee pay stubs. This is where you could view and download a prior pay stub that has been created. When it comes to payroll processing, it's a pretty easy component within the technology. The system really makes it easy for you to submit payroll to Aspen. The first thing we're going to give you access to is the time entry grid. And this is a grid that will display all of your earnings that need to be paid out. There are 3 ways data can get loaded into this grid. Option 1 is you can key it in. You can treat it like an Excel sheet, or you can use your up and down arrows to navigate from cell to key in the appropriate values in the appropriate column. Once you add a value and you click off of that cell, the system will automatically save the value to that cell. You don't have to save it manually. You can also filter. So if maybe you just want to show hourly employees and not salary employees, you can filter here at the top. Or we can even create different templates, which are different layouts of what your grid looks like. So in this grid, we have columns like regular, overtime, holiday, paid time off, and bonus being displayed. But you can create different templates of that grid. So maybe you want to create a template called bonus, because from time to time, you pay out bonuses, and you really only want to see bonuses when it's time to pay out that earning. So at that point, you can simply apply the bonus template in this case, and that will remove all the existing earnings and just bring in and display the one bonus column. Now keep in mind that changing templates, it doesn't eliminate whatever data has been loaded to a previous template. It just simplifies the view to make it easier to enter data into the grid. So if I was to go back to my regular template and apply, you'll notice that all my existing values are still in that previous template. The second option to load data into the grid is over here, to the left under Timecard Import. This allows you to import a file. And traditionally, this is done because maybe you're using a third-party time and attendance system, or maybe you're using a point-of-sale system, an ERP system, to track your employees' hours, or maybe you are paying out bonuses, and you have to calculate those bonuses outside of the system. And you've done that through an Excel sheet, and you would just like to load the final value into the system. You can import a file or files, and by importing that will populate the grid with the data that you're importing. The third option would be for clients that are using iSolve to actually clock in and out. For those with that setup, you will have 2 additional buttons under Process Payroll. You will see Lock and Commit. These 2 buttons will only appear for clients that are using iSolved Time. In order to get the data from the time card into the time entry grid, you will first have to lock your time cards, which will prevent any further changes to the time card, and then you will click Commit. By hitting Commit, you're not committing payroll just yet. You're just committing hours to the time entry grid from the time card. You're basically telling the system that these hours on the time card have been finalized, which then lets you bring them into the grid so you can pay them out. So that would be option 3, Lock and Commit. So to recap, to get data into the grid, you could either key the data into the grid. You could import into the grid, or you can lock and commit if you use iSolved for timekeeping. Once the data is in the grid and everything looks good, you can come back to Process Payroll and you can hit Preview. By hitting Preview, this is what is called pre-processing. This will go through and process your payroll, but it doesn't finalize the payroll just yet. What it will do is once it's done previewing, it will give you access to some reports that you can pull to confirm that your payroll numbers are correct. Some most commonly generated reports that clients like to run from the preview is the payroll register. This will give you a breakdown by employee of what the gross to net looks like. It shows you total earnings, total deductions, total taxes. There may be times where you want to generate your invoice that you're receiving from Aspen. We then also recommend using the client invoice reconciliation report as well, which gives you a little more information regarding what is actually being generated on the invoice itself. Now, there may be other reports you wish to have included in the preview, and that's fine. You can reach out to Aspen, and we can work with you to add additional reports. But by giving you access to these reports, this will give you easy access to your payroll numbers, even though your payroll hasn't been finalized. So if by chance you happen to review a report and notice that something doesn't look correct, maybe a number was entered incorrectly, or maybe you forgot to pay somebody. That's okay. You still have time to make changes. What you can do at that point is you can go right back into the grid, make the change on the grid, come back to preview, do the pre-process once again, and once it's done previewing, you could then rerun those same reports with the updated totals in there. Once you feel like your payroll looks correct and you're ready to submit, you will then hit the Submit button. This will generate the information over to Aspen. Aspen will review the payroll. We do like to put another set of eyes on it, just making sure that nothing seems out of the norm. If there are any discrepancies, we will reach back out to you. Sometimes we may make a change. But what we will do is once we review it, we will resubmit it back to you. You will get an email notification once it's been resubmitted. You will then come in and hit the Approve button. And by approving payroll, that is your final sign-off on, yes, payroll is ready to be finalized. At that point, it will regenerate back to Aspen, and we will finalize on our end. Once your payroll has been finalized, you will receive another email just stating that your payroll has now been finalized. Once you have approved and payroll has been finalized, these payroll preview reports now become your finalized payroll reports. So how do you get access to those reports once payroll has been finalized? Under Reporting, you will have access to Report Archive. Report Archive will display reports from any prior pay period that has been finalized. Here's the list of all your prior pay periods. You can expand each one to give you easy access to those reports that appeared in that preview drop-down list. This will give you access to preview or even download those reports. The system will store these reports historically for you. In addition to the Report Archive, you will also have access to client reports. By default, the system provides approximately 200 plus canned reports. These reports could be pulled by date range, which includes the from and to dates. Some you can select by the appropriate pay dates. And then others you can run as of date. If you're needing other reports outside of the default or canned reports, there is a report writer tool available. This is something that you will have access to manage on your own, or you can always reach out to Aspen and we can assist you with any custom reporting needs. The easy thing about the custom report writer tool is you can easily search for the fields that you're looking for, or you can search by table. By selecting a table, that brings in all your available columns inside that one table, and you can choose which columns you wish and simply add it over here to the right. You can cross-reference as many different tables as you need until you get all the available columns loaded in. Once your columns have been added to the right, you then have easy access to maneuver where those columns will appear in your report by moving them up or down in the list. You also have the option to edit columns, which gives you access to edit the column heading names, or you can change the type of column, meaning that maybe you want to do a calculated column and you want to take column A times column B to equal column C. It does support aggregating column function options as well. You could choose any filtering options that are available within that report, and then you get the option to choose how you would like that report to be produced. The last thing we'll touch on today are a few tips and tricks to help you along the way. First, if you forget where your menu item is located, you can use the search menu in the upper left-hand corner. if you're looking for, let's say, the employee direct deposit, you can type in direct deposit. And you can choose the first item, which is employee pay direct deposit. This will automatically take you directly into the employee direct deposit screen. Now, while on certain screens, if you want additional information on what's being displayed on that page, in the upper right-hand corner, there's usually a help option. This may display one-to-many articles that would give you access to additional information on that specific page. By clicking on the first article that you're seeing here on direct deposit, that will take you into the iSolved University. But it will automatically take you into that specific page of the university, where it will break down what the direct deposit screen represents. Inside of the university, you can also search for additional articles. And there are additional training courses that you can take to help further your knowledge on the iSolved technology itself. With that, I want to thank you again for your time today. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to Aspen HR.